After Talk Radio, you're in to all things music.
This is going to get loud. The working musician's ultimate guide to striking a new path through today's music industry. With your host, Paul Nicholas.
Welcome, everybody. It's going to get loud. I'm Paul Nicholas. We are here on a beautiful Tuesday. I am actually out of the country, but that's okay. We're having a good time. I'm here with Jason Barnes. Jason, thanks for being on the show.
Absolutely, man.
So,
my pleasure.
Those of you who have listened to a previous episode know that Jason is he works with ShowSlinger, works with me, but he is also a working comedian and the son of rock royalty, Mr. Don Barnes, the lead singer of 38 Special. So today, it's going to be all about ShowSlinger. We want to devote a show that's going to be talking about what it is that we're doing and how to get ahead on our platform. So for those of you who are just tuning in for the first time, ShowSlinger is a platform that it's a web app and mobile app that connects venues, artists, and fans with a comprehensive set of booking and promotional tools. And we're going to get into that right now. So Jason, besides being a working artist and all of these other things, he is also the head of our A&R nationwide, which means Jason is in charge of talent scouting for venues that ShowSlinger internal booking agents are booking. So say that there's a big hotel or resort or casino or whatever that just doesn't want to deal with the headaches. In that case, ShowSlinger booking agents would step in, we'd find the right talent and all of that kind of thing. So Jason has been looking for a lot of artists nationwide for a variety of things. So Jason, tell us a little bit about what goes on in your day-to-day and what kind of artists you're looking for the clients we're working with.
Okay. I mean, obviously there's a different genre for everything, of course, but with what we're mainly dealing with, it's people like just fresher music. A lot of acoustic stuff, of course, but keeping your stuff updated. They definitely want live videos. They want to hear your music. They want to see you. And I just can't stress enough how important it is to have a good EPK and a good some good pictures, some good video for all of these artists, because there's a lot of crap out there, man. There's a lot of people that don't know what they're doing, I guess. And I'm just being honest. There's people that are really talented that have a crappy profile and they present themselves terribly, and it's all image in this business, So, I mean, that's a start.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I mean, it's interesting because with what we do, we're working with thousands and thousands of artists nationwide, thousands of events nationwide, venues in all markets, big and small, everything from New York to LA to the smallest towns in between. And I think what's interesting about what we've done, and if I'm wrong, is that the more and more and more I get into this over the years, the more I realize that there's really no difference anywhere in the country. It's pretty much all the same. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I've had artists say, well, you don't know this market. Yes, I do. It's the same market as everywhere else. You've got your mainstream stuff. You got your eclectic stuff, a little crappy bar that everybody likes to go to and with a bunch of junk hanging on the walls. It's pretty much the same everywhere. But I guess another thing just to keep going is, if you're going to be an artist in this day and age, of course, we both talked about this. There's no money in tickets. There's no money in live music. You're not going to sell your music. Nobody wants to buy your music. Everybody's so used to it being free that they're not going to step up and buy anything. But the merchandise and the tickets are where it's at. And that really just boils down. So if it's all about live shows, my suggestion would be spread yourself around. Have a set that's an updated 40 set, or top 40 set. Have a set that's a more classic rock. And have a set, do whatever you want. If you want to do originals, cry me in a beer music or whatever. But you got to have a little bit of everything, because people are looking for specific things. And if you're only doing one thing, it's kind of like we talked about stand-up before. Like being just a stand-up comedian isn't enough anymore. You got to be out there doing the improv stuff. You got to be doing all of them. Have a great online presence with videos. You got to just put a whole bunch of irons in the fire, because just being a one-man show is just not working as much anymore.
Now, again, it's important to make this distinction for the listeners out there that what we're talking about right now is primarily cover gigs. Now, the reason we're addressing cover gigs is because it affects almost all musicians. Even if you're a working band that's, an original country band, an original rock band, whatever it is, you probably still do some cover shows from time to time to make ends meet. And so that's why we're taking a look at that. And nationwide, we've done our own studies. Well, absolutely. And basically what we've found is that nationwide, of all the bars, clubs, restaurants, and venues that fit, anywhere from a capacity of 10 up to, say, 2,000, there's roughly 350,000 of these venues nationwide. Now, out of that, roughly 80% do cover music. So it's the vast majority of stuff out there. But the point is, like Jason said, you've got to have quite a bit of things in your bag of tricks. Now, Jason, correct me if I'm wrong here, but one of the things that we've seen nationwide, even in places like Texas or the South, this, that, and the other, country is not something a lot of people want to book for cover music. Now, I'm not saying that everybody, but
country or rap, those two genres, I'm really amazed how do you even start in those genres, because nobody wants it. And I know some people do, but I don't know who's booking it, because they don't ever ask me for it. So,
now the thing with, again, of course, with, go ahead.
I was going to say, once again, if you're going to be a country artist and that's your passion, I definitely recommend, learning some top 40 stuff. If you just do it all. My dad been doing this 40 years, and you mentioned who he was. He still does covers. They still throw some covers in there to, just to pump up the songs and pump up the show. So there's nothing wrong. There's nothing, I'm just going to do originals, man. That's just me. Nobody understands me as an artist. Like, man, come on. If you understand this business, you'll learn some cover songs. So you can make $1 at this.
Well, dude, I'm going to the U2 show in Chicago in June, and then I'm going to see them in Boston. I guarantee you, every single U2 show I've ever seen, they always throw in 2 or 3 covers, guaranteed. And it's it's just no, of course not. I mean, it's paying homage.
How do you learn how to play music? The same way I learned how to do comedy. Is that I watched other comics and I learned how to learn the art of, like, kind of the rhythm of how it works, and that's how you learn how to do music. The same way you learn other people's songs, and then eventually you start to understand your own. But to just be like, I'm just going to do original, that's just a tough gig nowadays. It's just not like that anymore. This is a business.
And now
people, you want to earn or you don't want to earn, and it comes down to that.
Right. And so I can see a lot of the people that are potentially listening, their heads spinning, saying, yeah, well, my market's different, or this, that, and the other. Now, folks, please bear in mind that what we're talking about today is from ShowSlinger's perspective, which is the perspective of someone that is booking a lot of cover artists. So what we see is what the venues see and that kind of thing. So this is meant to give you some kind of insight and perspective into what to do and what not to do. Now, like Jason said, if you're a certain kind of artist, say you're trying to make your living as an original artist and your stuff sounds like XYZ artist, it doesn't even matter. Even if you're doing cover gigs, you still want to have a wide range of stuff that you cover. What we're seeing a lot of, and I think now more than ever, now ShowSlinger, we're located in the South. We do a lot in the Southeast, but we do a ton of stuff all over the country. And what we're seeing more and more and more is people wanting to hear more current hits for younger kind of millennial crowds, which brings me conveniently to the point is if you're an artist over the age of 40 still doing cover gigs, bars, clubs, and that kind of thing, that's awesome. But you have got to be prepared to play some more current stuff as well if you are wanting to make a living and make serious money doing it. If you just want to play the same watering hole once a month or whatever, yeah, do your own thing. But there are a lot of guys that are still rolling up in the 1970s gear, trying to appeal to places that want a wider range of music.
Guys, like what you said, I mean, this is a very young. It's a young business. It's the genre changes, not genre, but it changes about every 10 years. It's a whole fresh new group of people come in and listen to music, and you have to stay current. You have to stay fresh. There's nothing wrong with learning a brand new Taylor Swift song and then make it funky or make it rocky or do something with it. But give people newer. I know that sounds. People would punch me in the face for saying that, but but honestly, it's about the music and about sellability and making money. There's a difference between having fun playing for your friends and earning $1 from this business. So if you want to earn being original and an outcast, that's a long road. You want to learn everything you can and learn every genre, learn how to play everything, and then have something for everything. So when somebody goes to book you, you have everything they need, that you can offer to them.
Yeah, that's totally true. And take a guy like me. I still play 200 shows a year, at least 180, and the overwhelming majority are cover shows. So, this is something that I'm very familiar with for sure. But yeah, people want the newer stuff. And take a guy like me. It's like, yeah, do I really want to learn some Bruno Mars or this, that, and the other? Yeah, why not? Basically, who cares? It's to me, it's kind of a writing exercise. It's a way to learn something new, try something new, expand your horizons, and all of that kind of thing. So basically, and here's a perfect example, Jason. You and I were just talking today and yesterday about a big client of ours. They are one of the, we're not going to drop any names, but they're one of the largest hotel companies in the entire world. We do a lot with these folks, and they came to us and said, hey, in one of our markets, Miami, we want guys that play more current stuff as opposed to top 40 stuff. We'd already been booking them for several months. And I said, yeah, well, you know what? The guys that we book can do all that stuff. They can do everything. We just got to make sure that we tell them to do just, the last 15 years of top 40 hits. But the point is that these guys had that in their bag of tricks, so we didn't have to cancel those shows. We didn't have to kick these guys to the curb. We could just work with what we had. And so having that versatility is absolutely freaking key. And then, Jason, you probably got a bazillion stories about that crusty old guy. I only play Southern rock, and fuck it. If you don't want to book me, fuck you, and all this kind of thing.
Yeah. And that's, of course, as we know, people in this business, especially when they start getting older and the rock star thing fades, they get a little bitter. Some, not all, but some, the basic thing to me is just do it forever if you want to. Don't tell me just because you didn't make money or whatever, you can play forever. Nobody can stop you from doing that. Go play for free down at the corner laundromat if you got to, if it's still in your blood. But, when you get older, as we were talking earlier, you got to start paying attention to what's going on in the times. But then again, a lot of people like the old classic rock stuff. There's an audience for everybody, but what I'm kind of talking about is what people are looking for nationwide. And that is to be more current. Or another thing they like to do is you could take an older song, but own it and change it a little bit where you could still recognize the song, but it's kind of funky and cool. They like that a lot, I noticed.
Now, the one thing that I would say about that, and I totally agree with you, but if you're going to, look, if you're doing a cover gig, the reason people are paying you is to sing along what they know. So if you do change a song and make it your own, that's awesome. If you do that and absolutely stand out, make more tips, get more gigs, that kind of thing. But just make sure that you practice the hell out of it, because if you suck at it, it's going to really backfire on you. So don't do that unless you really own it, practice it, all of that kind of thing. Let's shift gears real quickly and talk a little bit about what we are looking for, what ShowSlinger is looking for when we book artists. And the reason we want to talk about this topic is because, again, tons of venues nationwide that do all different types of things, whether it's a restaurant, pub, a big, huge casino, a resort that's got, a 2,000 person seat amphitheater, and everything in between we do. So, first and foremost, let me ask you this question, Jason. How long does it take you to decide if the boring? So you get to a Facebook page, you get to a press kit, you get to a ShowSlinger profile. When you take a look at it, how many seconds does it take to decide, yeah, these guys are okay, I'm gonna look a little bit more, or just completely move on?
10 seconds, maybe 15. It's really that fast.
So,
you can do it or not. Is that the answer you're looking for? Because it's quick. It's just finding out if they are good, they can do this. But the main thing for me, and this is just me looking as a booker, a live video of you playing in front of a crowd. I don't want a video of you playing in your bedroom. I get that you're talented, unless you can really produce it well and make it sounding really good. But really, I just need to know you can do this in front of a crowd. There's so many people that won't show any video of you. I know all musicians are self-conscious, as all entertainers are, but that's something we talked about this earlier about, I don't like the pictures of me. I don't like the sound of my voice. And you could talk about the fountain story, which is funny. Tell that story. It's funny.
Okay. Yeah. Side story here. Guy, we had to come up to us, Atlanta, and say we want to book a very high-end wedding DJ, this kind of thing for $4 or $5 grand, whatever. And so I went to an artist that I had heard of. He was recommended by somebody else. And I said, hey, are you interested? And this guy, yeah, I'm definitely interested. And he started giving me a sales pitch over the phone. I said, that's all fine, but we got to present this to the client. So go ahead and build a ShowSlinger profile for free. It'll take you 10 seconds to do it. Well, I don't have any pictures of myself. So, well, how long have you been playing again? Well, I've been playing for 25 years. Well, how do you not have any pictures of yourself? Well, I mean, I kind of have pictures, but I don't really like them. I don't really look good. So how the hell are you going to sell yourself to a booking guy like that?
Get booked. Yeah.
Now, here's the worst part. I said, okay, well, look, just get something up there. Get something up there. I just need a little something to present to this guy. And, I know you're a DJ and you're used to ripping off other people's stuff, but throw up some audio. That would be great. Video would be killer. I don't have any of that stuff. So I'm thinking, all right, this guy, and this is after 20 minutes. All right, this guy's a pain in the ass to work with already. I already don't even want to deal with this guy. But a friend of a friend, I was trying to do him a favor. So, look, just set up your profile. Let me see what you got. 2 days later, he sends me the link to his ShowSlinger profile, and I go look at it. There's one picture on his profile, and the primary picture of his profile is a picture of a fountain. I shit you not, a fountain. So I call the guy back. I go, what the hell is this shit? Do you really expect me to send this to a client, a goddamn fountain? And he was like,
just a perfect example.
Yeah, well, I don't have it. I mean, that's a real
idiots.
That's a real fuck off kind of thing to do. I'm trying to hand this guy $3,000 and he gives me a fountain. Now, how am I going to sell you? Yeah. Help me help you.
Help me help you, please. I've had that. I mean, and we're of course talking about the smaller percentages, but it's just people have to. It's an old story too. They don't get the business side of it. They just want to play. They don't get the business side. Like, I don't really do Facebook and stuff like that. If you want to do this business nowadays, you have to be up on all of that stuff, because nowadays, if you even want an agent or a manager.
I don't want to cut you off, Jason, but we're going to finish that. We're going to finish that thought in 1 second, and we'll be right back, folks. Thank you.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
Hi, Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
This is going to get loud. The working musician's ultimate guide to striking a new path through today's music industry. With your host, Paul Nicholas.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We are talking with Jason Barnes here, head of nationwide A&R for ShowSlinger, and we're talking a little bit about do's and don'ts for artists when not only getting booked through ShowSlinger, but getting booked nationwide. And Jason, before the break, we were talking a little bit about the Fountain story, a guy who we told to set up his profile, send it over to us so we could send him a $3,000 DJ gig, and he put up a picture of a fountain. The point of the story was help us help you. You're, as an artist...
Yourself. Sure. I mean,
that's the whole thing. As an artist, you got to stack the deck in your favor, and the way that you're going to do that is make it easy to work with you. Just make it easy to work with you. Bend over backwards to make somebody else's job easy because they're the ones that are handing you the gigs.
And most of them don't want to do it. I mean, especially if you're dealing, because this is if you're dealing with bookers, that's one thing, but most of these artists are dealing with venues. And these venues are trying to run a restaurant on top of dealing with artists calling all day long. And they get hundreds and tons of calls all the time. And the thing is, like we just said, if you're difficult, if you're bugging them, if you're being difficult at all, they're going to drop you because you're one of so many that they'll just move on to the one that is, that's easier to deal with. And, we have our snags here and there with some artists that are just kind of difficult. It's just, it's the nature of the game. But I was just talking about in this day and age, like I said, you can't make any money on songs anymore. And to even get an agent or a manager this day and age to even look at you, you already pretty much have to have most of your business complete. You already need to have merch, a CD pressed, 10,000 Facebook friends. You're going to need all those things. And then an agent will walk in and go, hey, you know what? Maybe we'll take 10%. But that's the idea of nobody really grasps that. And knowing now, too, the rock star thing is kind of dead, man. It's a 1% now of people that actually, that you see on TV and America's Got Talent and all that. It's mostly a working man's business now. Musicianship has turned into a working man's business. You're not going to make a huge rock star thing. I mean, you could. It's a possibility, but it's like making it to the NBA. But you could go out and earn. You could go out, and earn $60,000, $80,000 a year, working your ass off, working the gigs. If you love it and want to do it that bad, then nothing can stop you. But like I said, it's a working man's game now.
And that's absolutely where ShowSlinger comes in. So,
sure, absolutely.
One of the biggest things that ShowSlinger does from an artist perspective, it makes the artist money in three ways: getting you gigs, letting you use what we call the digital tip jar, and we'll get into that in a minute, and fan funding, which is essentially kind of like a slimmed down Kickstarter campaign, but it helps you grow your fan base while you're making money. Now, when it comes to gigs, what's really unique about ShowSlinger is that you're actually going to be able to gain traction in the ShowSlinger community, whereas it's nearly impossible to do it on your own, whether you're a cover music guy or an original artist. And so how does that work? Okay, so say you play 100 gigs in Atlanta this year. Well, after every single gig, the venue can rate you on ShowSlinger. Okay, right. This is important, and it's much more meaningful than something from some other website or something, because ShowSlinger is a tightly knit community for bars, clubs, and restaurants that are booking weekly stuff. Okay, this is not for the bar mitzvah. This is not for the wedding or whatever. This is for working artists that are hitting it in the clubs day and day out. So you do a bunch of gigs in Atlanta, you get a rating of 100. Now, when you go to New York, the bar owner that you approach is going to say, yeah, who the hell are you, kid? Oh, yeah, I'm from Atlanta. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. We don't know who you are. Well, take a look at my ShowSlinger profile. You can at least see that the clubs down there love me. I'm the real deal. Everyone's booking me. yeah, all right. And then they'll maybe give you a shot closer to the weekend, whereas otherwise you probably even wouldn't get in the door, or you wouldn't get a listen, or you'd be playing on a Sunday afternoon to just the bartender. The point is that in each city, you don't have to start over. You can take your reputation and carry it with you from Atlanta to the next city, which also helps artists get treated fairly at the venue. So, Jason, can you tell them a little bit about that?
Well, that's just never been done before. I mean, you know, as we know, what ShowSlinger is, it's technology, it's a mobile app, it's software that's bringing the draconian, vaudevillian days of booking into the 21st century with technology. And as we said before, booking nowadays, there's no college for it. Nobody trains for it. Basically, you're either the bartender or the bartender's friend with a calendar and a pencil. And now you're booking all the music. Like, it's such a weird job that people end up getting all the time. But what we're doing is streamlining that process and making it easier for the musicians. The way we see it is, if we can make it easier for the venues to do the job correctly, it makes it that much easier for the musicians to get work. And we're all working artists. And of course, that's what this whole thing was basically about, is just the ability to get paid, not be on a social network like a Gig Salad or Gig Masters or Reverb Nation. All those are just gathering places. Nobody's really getting much gigs out of that stuff because they're not going
databases.
after the venues.
I mean, it's the yellow pages.
Yeah. Right. But none of them are really getting, you might get a spotty gig here and there, but the bottom line is they're not going after the venues who actually have the gigs and saying, hey, let us help you do your gigging better, and then these guys can get more gigs. You dig?
That is absolutely the genesis of the whole thing at its core.
Sure.
And Jason was just hitting on that. There's a lot of databases out there for artists, and nothing against those guys. Those are great things. Nothing wrong with that. But where ShowSlinger really shines
let me say one thing right there. Go ahead. My dad, who's 40-year career, he's been all over the world, obviously sold 20 million albums, still rocking it. And the one thing he said, first off, he loves ShowSlinger. He's like, God, if we had this 30 years ago, and the whole thing would be different. They're back then working out of vans and payphones. But he said the main thing about this business is the more eyes on you. The more eyes on you, the more eyes on you. I've had people say, Wood, I've got to sign up for this fucking thing. Like, yeah, man, it's more eyes on you. You sign up for Gig Salad, sign up for Gig Master, sign up for Reverb, get on fucking MySpace. The more eyes on you, the better. So there's artists that I'll see them like on Reverb Nation, and I can't find them. They don't have a phone number or any way to even contact them. It's ridiculous sometimes.
And these are the same artists who are bitching about not getting calls from venues for getting you. How come nobody's calling me for gigs? Well, shit, man, you make it so damn hard to find you.
And here's another weird one. Offset. If your name is James Brown, change it, please. Just come up with something else, anything else. Because if it's Rick Price or James Brown or John Smith, like, man, I can't find you. Bookers can't find you. You have to have an original name. Something that as soon as you type it in, I get excited, like, oh, that's a good artist, and I'll be able to find them because their name is original. We had a woman named Xoch, Xoch, and it was like, hey, I know that I'll be able to find that person.
And that's actually a really good point. That's a very, very good point. If you're for the kiddies out there, take notes of that. Have an original name like Xoch, Xoch. Shout out to a duo out of the tri-state area there, duo. New York. Yeah. Absolutely. And I even saw the name. I was like, who's Xoch?
Yeah. What is that? How do you say that? But the thing is that you remembered it, and you know you're going to find it. But like I said, there's been so many times I can't find it. The guy's name is George Bush. Like, okay, man, you're going to have to change that. That one's kind of taken.
Yeah, you might want to try something like G. Bush, or, I mean, you can do a lot of things with Bush, let's be honest. That's just a fun name. But
no letters either. You can't find them that way either. If it's a G or a, doctor,
well, that's not necessarily true, because one of the artists that we've booked, G. Spartacus. Now, you can find that guy.
Yeah, well, that's original still, but I've had just like G, whatever, like someone. I've had G Brown. Like, dude, you're killing me.
Now, on the other side, folks, make sure that your name is something that you'd be comfortable saying in front of your 14 or 12-year-old daughter, because, I can't even repeat some of these disturbing names out there. But believe you, I am not taking you to my client if your name is Turds of Misery, and that is a real band name, by the way.
Yes, it is.
We have...
Yeah,
in the ShowSlinger off,
even the Twins, or all that. There's so many bands out there named about genitals. It's ridiculous. But
in the ShowSlinger office, we got the Wall of Shame for the hilarious band names.
We got some funny ones. Some of them it's really not even worth going into. It's too dirty. But just any kind of sexual innuendo stuff. It's catchy, but it usually means you suck. There was one band named Brad Pitt Live and Nude. I thought that was a funny one. But the clean, you see it on the billboard, like, "Hey, Brad Pitt Live and Nude, sweet."
Yeah, that's not a place that you and I want to go into. But hey, for the fellows out there, I don't know. That's your thing. It's your thing.
You're trying to get girls to your show. That's one way to do it.
Oh.
I wanted to talk about
don't do that in town. Don't do that in the Castro district in San Francisco. You're going to attract the wrong type of crowd there.
Yeah, you'd have a mad rush. They'd have to shut the city down. There'd be fires and looting.
What were you going to say?
Over to, because we were talking about a lot about cover music, but just to talk some about originality too. It's great to be original, and people need, I realize that there's artists that feel that passion, that they want to just play their stuff. And as you know, as a cover artist, it gets old playing somebody else's shit. Yeah, it gets a little old, but that's part of the game. My dad started at 15, and he played covers for 15 years, really, before it started to become something else. And what I want to say was original artists, it's a harder road. You get the original original music doesn't even pay until you actually have a fan base. So you're going to spend years not even getting paid. And, it's
that's where I would clarify.
To take,
It is a harder route to take. I mean, you called me a cover artist a second ago, and that kind of pains me. It does, but it doesn't.
I know
at my core, I'm an original artist. Exactly. I've released 4 albums, and you can find it on iTunes under Foxtrot November. But
yes, you are.
But the thing is that, one, I'm doing it because it's just a lot of fun. 2, it is really hard to do your own stuff, and even though I'm working on another album, I don't mind playing other people's stuff, because for me, it just helps broaden my horizons as an artist. And man, even when I was in the studio writing my new record, if I ever hit writer's block, or I'm ever thinking, I just want to try a new direction, I'll always take something way the hell outside of my comfort zone, some kind of cover song that's new and cool and whatever, and I'll just think about that style. I'll learn how to play it, whatever. I might throw it into a show, but I'm thinking, you know what? Why don't I try something in this kind of style, but with my own original writing onto it? And you'd be amazed at what comes out when you start reaching outside for inspirations that are definitely a lot farther out there. Now, coming back to these artists getting booked at all these places and stuff like that, the types of media that you guys have to have is very specific. You only have, Jason just said it earlier, 10 seconds to grab somebody's attention. When somebody looks at your ShowSlinger profile, when they look at your Facebook page, when they look at your Reverb Nation page, whatever it is, you got a split second to make that person say, wow, which means you've got to have the best photos you can get, good live video, and everything is polished as humanly possible. We've talked about this on almost every freaking episode, but it is always worth mentioning because it is so absolutely critical. So just don't discount that as an artist. I know you want to say, well, I sound so damn good that it doesn't even matter what I look like. It really does. And particularly if you're a cover musician, then it really matters what you look like. You're not Bruno Mars here. You're a guy. Right. Replicating other people's stuff, you need to look the part, and so
I would say it's basically whatever it takes. Attitude more than a look. We have guys that are bearded and sloppy, but can kill it. It's about what they bring to it, and you kind of forget what they look like. But you've got to be good. But also, if you're not that good, you still need video. I still need to see you, and I'll tell you right now, if you don't have video, it makes me think that you're either not good enough to have video, or you're too self-conscious
or you're
to
lazy.
Work with. Or you're lazy. There's a few things where I'm automatically like, You've got you're on Reverb Nation, you're on Gig Salad, yet there's no video on any of that. And there's like one picture. And I'm like, well, what are you doing here? You know? And I find that more on Gig Salad, on those things, like nobody's putting their stuff up there. And it's ridiculous because there's some pretty good art acts. And it's like, man, if you put some more video and some pictures into all of this stuff, it's not that hard either. Like, go get some pictures of video. It's not tough, not hard. Everybody's got one on their phone right now. Everybody's walking around with high quality HD cameras and video, and yet we still have 75% of these artists that have crappy video. It's weird.
Yeah, that's what absolutely kills me. Are you telling me that you're, too good to give your girlfriend, your camera phone and let her shoot 30 seconds? All I need to see is even just 20 seconds of you playing in a bar. I don't even care. But
just need to see
do yourself a favor. Make sure she's not standing right next to the speaker and everything is distorted as hell. Just do a quick 20-second test before you start shooting that. We want to have something that's coherent. I mean,
the point to that is that make sure that they artists and your sound engineers and the artists and musicians are always, it's all about the sound, and it's like we don't really care. Make it sound like I can just hear it. Just make sure I can hear it. I just need to see that you're doing it. But a lot of people are like, I didn't want to put that up. It sounded like crap. Just get me something that you clear sound and a video of you with a crowd there. Simple stuff. Like, it doesn't have to be that crazy. It doesn't have to be that produced. Just clear enough to see that, hey, you're in a bar playing good music and people are listening and you're having fun. That's pretty much what I.
And remember this when you're talking to, booking agent like the folks that work at ShowSlinger, or whether you're talking to the venue directly themselves. You think that in your own little world, you're the biggest star on the planet, but in reality, nobody knows you. So you can't just go to a venue and get them to take you at your word. Oh, yeah, I promise I sound really good. No, you need to sell yourself. Obviously, the way you do that is through your press kit, but it which sounds like duh, but so many people don't do that, which is why we're bringing it up in the first place. You have got to sell yourself first to get in the door. Put the best foot forward possible. I mean, this should be a no-brainer, but there are lots of people out there that are not doing that. The other thing is, I prefer a couple of things. You've got to have the live video first and foremost. That is key number one thing. Even if you don't have any pictures, that live video, a picture says 1,000 words. I would say a video says 1,000,000. So if nothing else, get 1 minute of good video. Yeah,
sure.
And I would also encourage people. I really like to see a studio take. I like to see the live take. I like to see the studio take because the difference between the two tells me how good they are.
And that's
if
fine.
the studio take is really awesome, the live take is abysmal.
I've had some that are people in bedrooms and they're really terrible, but I've had some people sitting in the bedroom and it's really good. But then they have a live video to go along with it, and now you can see, this person is very good, very talented.
By the way, folks, that helps us or any other third-party booking agent sell you to the venues, because that's still what's going to happen. Nobody's going to book you based on reputation. So with that, we're going to be back in the next segment. We're going to be talking a little bit more about the tip jar and fan funding for ShowSlinger, the other two ways that you're going to make money, because ShowSlinger is all about making money with gigs, tips, and funding. I'm Paul Nicholas. It's Getting Loud here on Tuesday afternoon. We will see you right back here.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element. Affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Make this your vinyl night. I'm John J.R. Robinson, and every week, music creation comes alive through stories, experiences, and sounds when vinyl records filled our hearts and minds. My friends and I share our tips and techniques used in creation of iconic tracks for recording artists such as Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton, Quincy Jones, and Steve Winwood, to name a few. Vinyl has emerged hot, and the soul of vinyl defines art and passion which burns deepest at night. Tune in.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
This is going to get loud. The working musician's ultimate guide to striking a new path through today's music industry. With your host, Paul Nicholas.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us on this lovely Tuesday. Well, lovely for me. I'm down here in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. But we are here with Jason Barnes in Atlanta, Georgia. And Jason is the head of A&R for ShowSlinger. So when it comes to talent nationwide, Jason is basically the man you've got to impress. So if he ever pops up in your email or talking to you on Facebook, be humbled, because this man knows good talent. So we were talking in the last couple of segments about how artists should set themselves up for success by putting their best foot forward with the best kind of media and da-da-da-da. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the ShowSlinger digital tip jar and ShowSlinger fan funding, because today is a shameless 1-hour extravaganza all about ShowSlinger, the company that we love and work for. And so,
lives, baby.
Changing people's lives 1 gig at a time is what we like to say. So the digital tip jar is something really cool. It's a simple concept, but the way that it works is very genius. But it works like this. Imagine you're playing on your stage in an Irish pub. You're a cover musician. Or imagine you're even an original artist, on a stage and 200 people in front of you. A fan walks into the venue, which sounds like the beginning of a joke. A guy walks into a bar. But anyway, guy walks into the bar, and his phone rings in his pocket. He pulls it out, and just like magic, your profile pulls up. And the best part is that he can actually just tap a button on your profile and request a song from you right while he's standing 10 feet away from you. He can tip you right there just by taking a picture of his credit card, because we know people in a bar are drunk and they're not going to be fumbling around entering numbers in a dark bar, but you can just simply take a picture of it, send it over to him. And the best part is you can even see his set list. You can see everything this guy's playing, so you can start requesting a ton of your favorite songs. So as an artist, you can just sit there with the phone on your music stand, with the phone on the drum riser, wherever, and you're just going to start to see these requests come through like magic. It's something that is in addition to the cash tips. And so that's something that we've seen people really, really get excited about, and can basically triple your tips in an evening. Jason, what's your 2 cents on that?
Once again, it's making it interactive. As I said before, we're bringing music and booking into the future with this technology, and it's different and change. It's a change, and a change is good, as we know. And bottom line is they can involve themselves more in what you're doing, and they can see who's playing, that you're playing there before they even get there. Like we do a lot of hotels. People are sitting in their room. They're like, "Hey, nowhere to go tonight. Who's playing in the lobby, in the bar, and that kind of stuff." So, and we know too that people, 60-70% now is cashless. Did I say that right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's about 55 to 60% of people in a bar do not carry cash.
Absolutely. So as much as I do, being in the venue business, and I've been doing this over 20 years as well on their side, at the booking side. So I know that people, if they've had a few drinks and they're capable of clicking a couple of buttons on their phone and request songs, and it's somebody's birthday, that can rack up to hundreds of dollars. People get crazy.
Oh my
with
God.
stuff like this.
I will tell you.
And you can request the songs, and then it makes them stay longer because they want to sit around and hear it. But I've seen it go off. People just go crazy with it. Like, this is the best thing ever, and just start ringing up money. So,
Yeah.
And another thing, too, is, and you know this as well, it helps boost the cash sales because people actually, maybe they don't want to use the credit card, but they can still see the song list. They can still see the queue. So a lot of times they'll come up and just put cash in the thing and request it on the phone. So it's working on both levels.
And that is an absolutely great point because this is an actual true story. I kid you not. I was playing in a resort in Florida just north of Miami. I want to say it was about 2 months ago maybe. And a party of boat salesmen, they were there for a boat convention. And got just ridiculously hammered. And I just got on the mic and do what I always do. Hey, guys, thanks for coming out. If you want to request something, just download this app. You don't have to sign up or anything like that. You can just get right in there, and it'll, boom, pull up my profile like magic. So these guys get in there. Now, you have two types of people in a bar when it comes to tipping artists. Those that are really shy, and they don't want to walk up there to your tip jar because they don't want people looking at them. It's uncomfortable. It's awkward. Right. Maybe they only have $1. And then you have the opposite guy, the guy who's going to drop $20 to $50 on a song, and he wants everybody in the place to see him do that. And that's basically what happened with these boat show people. Guy downloaded the mobile app. Oh, shit, man, you're playing Sledgehammer? Yeah, do some of that. Then I want to hear some CCR. Then I want to hear this. Then I want to hear that.
Yeah.
And he just loved it. He didn't give me a single tip through the app.
But guess
what? He came up there 5 different times showing everybody that was tipping me $50 or whatever it was. I walked away with $350 in tips, where the night before, same place, I got about $10.
That's why I wanted to stress that, because some artists have had, a little bit of kickback from that. Like, well, I get cash tips. It's like, no, man, this is going to help your cash tips. It's not taking away your cash. It's going to help build that as well. But you've got to remember that we're in the future, baby. You got to be credit card accessible. You're leaving money on the table every gig you do. Every gig you do, you're leaving money on the table because you're not rocking with this thing.
I mean, and that's absolutely right. You're a business, right? There are very few cash-only businesses anymore. Okay, yeah, that pizza joint in Manhattan. But 99.9% of all retail places you walk into, they take cash, they take credit cards. There's a reason for that, because you're missing out on a big chunk of change if you don't do that. Just like if you're an original band and you're selling merch, if you don't have a Square reader, if you don't have a PayPal reader to accept credit cards and all that kind of stuff, you are absolutely just shooting yourself in the foot. Mm-hmm. And
I mean, I think so. It boils down to: are you out there to make money, or are you out there to just jerk off with your friends? Like, man, you want to do what you love, but you got to earn. This is an earning business. If you can't say, "Well, I never made any money at it," did you really try, or did you just go party with your friends every weekend? Like, take it seriously, or or if you want to just do that, that's fine too. But don't bitch to anybody when you're not earning at all. So. I guess that's my point.
And you don't have any money to pay rent or buy that new guitar or repair that PA or get that microphone that you desperately need, or the video shoot you need, or the recording time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, here's a couple of interesting statistics for the folks out there. Like Jason said, 55-60% of the crowd does not carry cash. Right. Here's another interesting statistic. People who use the ShowSlinger digital tip jar will double or triple their tips at every single gig. The average artist that I talk to on a daily basis makes maybe $100 to $150 in tips. So are you telling me you wouldn't want $300, $400, $500 in tips at every single show? I mean, come on. You do a couple of shows, that's your frickin' rent right there, just in tips. Now, another interesting statistic, and this is years and years of researching this stuff. People who use the ShowSlinger digital tip jar, they don't tip you once. They don't tip you twice. No, they don't even tip you 3 times. They will tip you on average 4 to 6 times per person per show, because they can see your set list. They're not just going to say, oh, you know what? I like this one song. They're going to say, I like this one song. Oh, and I like this other one, too. Oh, I like this other one. And then before it's just like a guy standing at a jukebox. He doesn't pick one song. He picks like 20, and he stays until he hears all of them. So you have a very powerful way. Well, we refrain from
using that phrase, of course, but it's an interactive thing where you can you could ask the musician to play music. And, depending on how much he wants to tip, it's still up to the musician. You're not chained to these people, but they all know how it works. I mean, the more money you want to throw in the jar, then hell yeah, I'll play that Tom Petty song for $50. Of course. But I was going to say, like, there's one guy down in Florida that's, he's not making a kill. He doesn't play a lot of gigs. He does some weekend stuff, but you know what, with the tip jar, he's earning like an extra $40-$50 on a show. So for just him, that little bit of extra on top of the cash, it's like another couple $100 a month. Now he's paying his insurance. It doesn't matter what level you're on. Every little bit counts. I mean, if you could just getting $30 off of it, you're doing a hell of a lot better than you were before.
And let's look at a really, really powerful feature that we don't talk about much, but I really wanted to bring up today, which is building your fan base while making money. Now, here's one extremely powerful thing about the ShowSlinger digital tip jar. When that person tips you, when that person requests a song, even if they don't send you any money, if they check out your set list, if they look at the queue, when they interact with you in any small way at your gig, guess what? Your profile immediately becomes one of their favorites. So when that person wakes up hungover the next morning, they're like, man, I had a great time last night. Yeah, that guy was really killer music. What was his name again? Guess what?
Yeah.
The next time you book a gig, that guy's going to get a notification because you are in his phone, you are in his favorites list, and ShowSlinger does that automatically for you. I can't tell you how many times I've been playing a show as an artist, and you get 10, 15, 20, 30 people coming up to you pronouncing, man, you're really good. Yeah, when are you coming back? And you're like, oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm coming back in 6 weeks on May 12th. Yeah. You're never going to see that guy again.
Yeah, out the window.
But guess what?
Well,
with
even
the
on the
ShowSlinger
flip side of that, which is so important, on the flip side of that, is that no more email lists. No more of that stuff. Anybody that a musician meets from now on, just say, hey, how do I find you? Go download the app for free. You can find me in there and favorite me, and there I am. And you can see all my dates and everything you need. I mean, this is a no-brainer. One thing, we've been doing this for so long now that we really are starting to see people's heads wrap around it. And you realize, like, once they get it, they're like, man, this is so easy. I wish I'd have thought of this. Everybody says that. I wish I'd have thought of this. It makes so much sense to do what, to work with this thing because, it's just a new way to do it.
And it absolutely does. And here's the best part, folks, is that it all integrates seamlessly, meaning that if you get a gig from a venue and you accept it in ShowSlinger, you're automatically promoted on the mobile app. You're automatically checked in and reminded that you can get tips. Everybody that you invited from the mobile app, again, you can invite all your friends and fans to sign up for free. All those people, you're automatically in their favorites list. They're automatically going to get reminders when you're booking gigs. You just expanded your reach by an order of magnitude, by tons and tons and tons of times over. Just simply
it's a numbers game, man.
By doing it this way.
It's a numbers game. If every show you do, you get 3 people to sign up and like you, then by the end of the year, you've got a bunch of them. It's just as simple as that.
And yeah, absolutely. And one of the questions I know that we get asked most often is people say, oh yeah, well, that digital tip jar, it sounds like a great idea, but can I use it on the street sidewalk when I'm busking? Can I use it at a frat party I'm playing? Can I use it at my friend's birthday party where I'm playing at there? Can I use it at the coffee shop? Hell yeah. All you got to do is just open the calendar, put in a date. Anywhere. You could be playing on the surface of the moon, and if they had good Wi-Fi, you'd be able to get tips there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't frickin' matter. You could be playing in the middle of Central Park and still be using that.
Absolutely.
Very, very
and that brings, to the fan funding thing as well. I know you're probably going to get to that, but
yep,
we talked about original artists with that and a little bit more because we had a lot of fun talking and thinking about this because, basically it's a stripped down version of Kickstarter. And the bottom line is...
But without the rules and regulations.
No rules, no regulations. I don't even know where they came up with all that shit. Like, why did they put so many stipulations on somebody that's just trying to raise some money? But this is stripped down where you just raise it for anything. And we were having fun just thinking about ideas. Like, you need money to sleep on, to get to the next town, or you need gas, or hell, if you need to sleep on somebody's couch, or you need somebody to make you a home cooked meal. It's just basically, we're trying to give the ability, if you're going to be a working musician, it's nice to have contacts everywhere. And if you can raise money or raise like a campaign to get your band somewhere or whatever you want. Just the sky is the limit, and just have fun with it. And we're looking forward to the guys that are using it now starting to really come through and being like the fun and creative ideas that they're using. Go ahead.
And that's totally the point, is that instead of getting on Facebook and, you know, begging people for money or a GoFundMe campaign or something, this is a way for you to build your fan base and give something back to them while you're helping yourself. Everybody's a winner. So like Jason said, hey, we need gas to get to the next town. You know, you could literally, after the show, say, you know, we read this all the time. Some band got robbed. Okay, you got robbed after the show. You got to get a hotel. Get on your damn ShowSlinger app, start a campaign right that second. It'll take you about 30 seconds to fill it in. You come up with a campaign goal. We're going to raise $200 for a hotel tonight. And give your people some rewards. For $20, if you give us $20, we'll give you 2 backstage passes. For $50, we'll give you 2 backstage passes, and you can help us burn down that hotel room. It doesn't matter, whatever it is. But the point, is that you're giving your fans an exclusive way to be a part of your world, which is what they want more than anything. I mean, signed T-shirts, albums, those are all great. But if you give them a way to... That's what you want as an artist.
You want them wearing that shit. You want them wearing all that stuff. And let me put a disclaimer in here. Please do not burn down any hotels, folks. We didn't.
Yeah. We're not advocating.
Paul said it on the radio.
Except for that hotel on the side of Route 95. No, I'm just kidding. But
yeah, there's
that's absolutely
quality inn in Daytona that I've got some issues with. No.
But you can absolutely get carried away with it. Now, we've only got about 50 more seconds here, and we're definitely going to get into the fan funding a little bit more, because there is quite a bit that you can do with it. But folks, bottom line, again, this hour, shameless promotion for ShowSlinger, but it does quite a bit. If you haven't checked it out, showslinger.com, sign up for free.
Sure.
Going to take you about 20 seconds. Really wanted to...
You owe it to yourself to check it out. Just you owe it to yourself. So,
and like Jason said, all eyes on you, the better. Every single thing that you can sign up for that's going to give you traction, that's going to give you visibility, big or small, do it for sure. That's probably one of the best bits of advice today. So want to thank... That's for sure. Want to thank Jason Barnes from ShowSlinger for being on with us today. And we're going to touch a little bit more, like I said, on these topics in a later episode. Stick around. Check us out online, entertalkradio.com/going-to-get-loud. I'm Paul Nicholas, your host on this amazing Tuesday. Hope you guys have a good rest of the day. We will see you back next week, Tuesday, from 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear from Eclectica Studios. I'm a full-time mixing and recording engineer. I work with Grammy winners, labels, and indie artists, using state-of-the-art digital mixing and restoration tools and the very best in analog gear. Really, though, it's my ability to bring tracks to life and fulfill your vision for your music. This has made me sought after by producers and artists worldwide. So spend your time working on music and not chasing a mix down a rabbit hole. Go to timdolbear.com and check out our free one-song mix offer.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it, because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. Pitbullaudio.com.